Hello and welcome to Talking Europe, coming to you from the European Parliament in Strasbourg. Now, when the European Union recently announced a deal with 5 EU states, including Poland and Hungary, on Ukraine grain, it put an end to import bans that had been imposed by those states to appease angry farmers. Now, Eastern European, Central European farmers complained that the Ukrainian grain glut is driving their prices down and hitting their livelihoods. Now, the deal may be just a temporary timeout on a food fight among EU members that is testing the EU's solidarity towards Ukraine. And here to discuss that and debate that with me today are my guests. On my left, your right, is on my right, your left, Dominik Tarczynski. You're a member of Poland's ruling Law and Justice Party. You sit in the European Parliament with the European Conservative and Reformist Group. That's a mouthful, but I think I got it right.
That is correct.
And on my left, Norbert Linz, welcome to the show. You are with Germany's CDU, the Christian Democratic Union, and you're here in the Parliament with the European People's Party, yes. One of the biggest parties blocks in the Parliament. You're also, I will note, the chair, and this is critical for our debate, the chair of the Agriculture and Rural Development Group. And I'm wondering, especially given the fact that Poland was seen as the biggest supporter of Ukraine, the country that was trying to convince everyone else to support Ukraine. Mm-hmm. Isn't there a contradiction here? Why was Poland the leader in this import ban?
Well, basically, when we had a previous agreement about the transit itself, we've been told that this grain will go through Poland as a transit country to Africa. The whole idea and narrative was we have to help Africa, we have to help these regions which are in danger of hunger, basically.
You didn't think any of the grain was going to stay in Poland?
Oh, obviously, some of it could stay, but the numbers were shocking. And that is the problem. Not the fact that someone is buying and selling. The scale of it is absolutely unacceptable. And we've been asking for help, reaction from the Commission, and there was not enough reaction. That's why we decided that we have to ban it. And that's why I am very happy that at the moment it is banned. 4 of the grains are banned in Poland, but we did not close our borders. We said, okay, you can take the grain through Poland to Africa, Spain, or other places in Europe. So we did what we've promised in the beginning, because to understand the whole problem, you have to understand the scale of our support. Over 10 million people crossed the border from Ukraine to Poland. That's a very important part of it.
I understand. I'm going to note, though, to play devil's advocate, there's politics here, as you told me before the show as well. There is a general election due this fall in Poland.
Well, there is the politics from the Brussels side as well. Basically, well, to be straight, our government, or Brussels, is not in love with our government. And when we have our doubts about some decisions, these decisions on Commission side takes time. So obviously there are some tensions, but at the moment, I must say, we do have agreement, and I'm very happy that Commission...
For now.
From now. In the past, that was very hard for Poland to bear it, to take 10 million Ukrainians, to take all the grain, to take all responsibility and burden on one country was too much. That's why we asked for this deal.
Okay, but Norbert Linz, I'll put this to you. I was surprised, I said. Were you surprised by these bans, or were you sort of expecting this to happen?
1 year ago, when we visited the Polish-Ukrainian border as an agri committee, we had talks with Polish farmers there, and this was in June 2022. And there you could see, you could expect that this situation will take place there, because they complained in June. This was already 4 weeks.
About the scale.
4 weeks after we decided about the solidarity lanes, after we decided about the trade liberalization, that this situation will be there. So there is a responsibility of the Polish government and the responsibility of the Commission. And who is the main responsible commissioner for that? It's the Agriculture Commissioner Janusz Wojciechowski, who is responsible to observe the agriculture...
He should have seen this coming.
The agriculture markets.
He should have seen this coming, is what you're essentially saying. The European Union has paid as part of this recent agreement 156 million euros so far. Is this just the beginning of having to essentially pay off farmers in order to keep this agreement in place?
Yeah. It's not bad to use the agricultural reserve to help farmers which are suffering from this situation. But I don't think it's the right solution. The right solution would be to help the Polish, the Romanian farmers, and not only them, to help people in third countries. And there I agree with Mr. Daczynski that we have to help people in third countries. And this means more logistical help when it comes to infrastructure, more cooperation between Poland, Romania and the European Union, and the European Union or the World Food Programme, or in cooperation with each other, they should buy wheat, for example. They should buy wheat, which is now in Poland and in Romania, and should export it as soon as possible to third countries, because there are the people
if I may,
who are suffering with the food crisis.
So what can we hear from you now, after a year of our involvement, after 10 million Ukrainians crossing Polish-Ukrainian border, after millions of tons of grain, Ukrainian grain in Poland, what we can hear...
What do you want to hear?
What we hear is it's Polish government responsibility, as Commissioner Wojciechowski commitment and responsibility. What about the rest of the Commission? What about all these 200,000 people working in here? Why the country, which is the mostly open to help, is responsible? No, we are not responsible. We open our hearts, we open our wallets, we open our homes. Do you know that we don't have even a camps for refugees because they are living in the private houses? There is no even a camp for refugees.
Which enters a different debate.
So when you see the whole picture, and then me as a Polish can hear that we are responsible, I can't even believe
Dominic,
it.
let me put this to you. When you say this, what I hear is an echo of the same debate that we hear over, say, migration. The frontline Southern European
countries. Because the grain is just a little bit of part of the whole picture.
But it's the same theme, the same idea that because there are certain countries on the front lines of these issues, there are fissures in the European solidarity, whether we're talking about immigration across the Mediterranean or whether we're talking about Ukrainian grain. Do you see that parallel?
No. What I see at the moment is the war which never happened in the recent history, and we are neighboring country with the country of war. You cannot compare the people who are illegally trying to cross the sea with the people, children, who are fleeing the war. You cannot compare that. You can see adults who are making their decision to cross the Mediterranean Sea on the boats because they're looking for a better life, with the mothers and children who are running, fleeing the war and death. You cannot compare that. We decided to help them who tried to save their lives. 10 millions crossed our border. So when you see our wallets open, our hearts open, our homes open, the grain is just one of the problems. You cannot leave Poland to themselves, to ourselves. That's why we are the part of the European Union, because we are the family, and the solidarity means that if one country is taking the burden, like never seen in the recent 70 years, you have to be involved as well.
I hear what you're saying, but let me just ask you this. We have heard for months now, there was a sense almost that Poland was lecturing to a lot of the Europeans about the need to support Ukraine.
That's right.
Much more than a lot of Western Europe. It was Poland that was holding up the front there. And what I'd ask you, Norbert Linz, right now, has Poland, I don't want to ask you because I think I know your answer, I want to ask you, Norbert, has Poland lost some of its moral credibility, its moral authority to tell Europe, Western Europe now, support Ukraine?
So I think there is no doubt about whether the Polish government or the Polish people, that they supported the Ukrainian people, the Ukrainian government as much they could. So I'm from a country, we have more than 1 million Ukrainian people in my country, came from Ukraine to Germany. Now, it's about finding a solution now on this question of grain imports
in the midst of a war,
and at the same time that we are able in the future to help the Ukrainian farmers, to help the Ukrainian economy. As we know that 20% of the Ukrainian GDP is related to agriculture. The agriculture sector is the most important sector in Ukraine when it comes to the economy and when it comes to gross domestic product. So this means it's good to have a part-time solution or a solution for just the upcoming weeks, but this time should be used between the Polish, the Romanian, the bordering countries' governments and the Commission to solve the problem, to bring the solidarity lanes into the next step, and to organize it, to organize the trade liberalization better than it was done in the past.
That's perfect theory. If I may, that's perfect theory, beautiful picture, and I do agree with that. But so far, when you see the numbers again, how many tanks Germany gave to Ukraine? It's over 350 tanks from Poland. In the beginning, in the very crucial first moments and months and weeks, we could hear that Germany gave 5,000 helmets. It's a joke. So when you see our support and when you ask for a moral credibility, yes, we do have a moral right to say you're not behaving like a member of the family, because it's a joke when you see our support from the army. And one more figure.
Yeah.
If you ask me how much Poland is involved, I'll tell you 2% of our GDP. It's the number which was spent to help Ukraine, which is the same which we are spending for our army.
Dominic and Norbert Linz, we are going to have to leave it there, unfortunately. And I'd like to end on that note of hope. I thank both of my guests
Thank you very
today,
much.
Dominic Tarczynski and Norbert Linz, both MEPs here in Strasbourg in the Parliament. Thanks to all of you for watching the Talking Europe debate.